We got our first problem. And I don't know if this is gonna become a problem for a lot of people or not, but Williamsport Barber Supply sent me this package. Shout out to them, and you guys can use my code Eddie and you can save 10% off of anything you purchase through them. It's the new FX1 series. Well, what the hell they call this now? They call this a gold FX clipper. I didn't realize. They call that a gold FX clipper. All right, here we have the new gold FX clipper with the FX1 system. Let's go ahead and unbox it. Nice packaging as usual for Babyliss. In fact, I would say their packaging is probably one of the best because of the fact that you can actually use these afterwards. And I have. So we have the charging base. Important, proper alignment arrows. Okay, apparently this whole thing has to come out together. So let's just go ahead and yank it out. Oh my God, what the f***? This is not graceful. Man, how tough. Okay, like what do I gotta do? Break it? Good God. I have never had to fight a box that bad. Okay, it's out. All right, y'all. Let's snap it in and turn it on. Here we go, sound test. Very quiet. Feels like it has all types of power. Let's see what else we get in the box. We get our charging cable, which is USB-C, which is pretty cool. And that's what plugs into the stand. Oh, as well as apparently the other Babyliss charger should be in here somewhere. They're giving us an extra cam follower. Full set of, well, not a super full set of blades, but blades up to a number 4. So you got the half, one, a blade guard, and then up to a number 4. Other than that, typical Babyliss things, you get the little screwdriver with the nice key here, which I'm actually going to use that right away. Built-in oil reservoir on the blade for constant lubrication, lower blade temperature, 0 gap adjustable, the new N1 brushless motor. It says it has dual ball bearings for more efficiency, 6,800 RPM, 1,360 strokes per minute. Up to 2.5 hours of battery life. I guess that's about it. A couple of initial thoughts with the new Babyliss FX clipper. I don't know, that name still, I feel like this needs a real name, but like, all right. So the Babyliss FX clipper, you know the deal, flashlight style clipper. If I push this button, you actually have to push it pretty hard for it to pop out, so that's kind of nice. It seems like they could have probably put a USB-C charging device on here. You'll see the slot here on the top, and you just go ahead and fit this in right here. And then we can check and we can see if it's charged or not. So, I mean, really, the only like irritating thing is this little tiny stand. And the clipper can't charge on it, so you have to take this out of the clipper in order to charge it. And these are not a cheap clipper. They're definitely going to be expensive. You're gonna pay for this premium feature to be able to remove a battery. You get 2.5 hours of battery life with this clipper. How does it really compare to everything else in the industry when many of the other clippers are above 2 hours? Is it worth it to you guys? Let's actually take this apart and look at these oil reservoirs, and then I'm gonna show you guys something that you're gonna find interesting. You have all these patterns in the bottom of the blade. That's really more style than anything because none of this cuts hair, this stuff down here. The top of the blade is what actually cuts the hair. So let's take it apart. We're gonna 0 gap it using the digital microscope. And to do this, I'm gonna use my #1 rated screwdriver on Amazon, which pulls out like this. It's actually an electric screwdriver. If you do as much stuff to your clippers as I do, you might wanna consider picking one of these up. My Amazon store front is in the description and this is in it. All right, so let's start by taking this off real quick. All right, so there's your oil blade reservoirs. Kind of glad I took it off because there's definitely a little factory grease on here. I want to get that off and I want to go ahead and oil it while I'm at it. Let's have a look at the cutting blade. So if you ever had to change your cam follower, it's this little plastic piece. It sits on this side of the blade. So that's the cutting side down, and that's that. So I'm gonna wipe these off real good, spray these off, and put some oil on them. So let's take off the JRL blade real quick. Love this screwdriver because it isn't too strong, so it's not gonna mess up your stuff. So we'll take this one all the way off. And matter of fact, while I got this off, we'll clean this up. So if you notice, both the JRL and the FX1 blades have these little oil reservoirs. And JRL actually did it first. So one of our product testers, Rigo, pointed this out to me. And when I first got this, I didn't even know that. So the first thing we want to do before we zero gap it is we want to go ahead and we want to spray and clean the blade, the cutter and the blade. And then we're going to wipe it off, get all this factory grease out of here. And then spraying that actually does more harm than good. That is a disinfectant. That's not designed to help your clipper in any way. So what we're going to do now is we're going to put a little bit of oil. I'm going to work it over top of the reservoirs and over top of the teeth. And inside the teeth, you can see there's other little reservoirs there. We're going to make sure that the tensioner lines up to the holes on the cam follower. You can see that, you know, pretty idiot proof on this one. Some of them are a little more complicated, but this is actually very simple. So once we have that, we're going to go ahead, we're going to drop this blade back over the top. I like to hold it with my left hand, and we'll drop in one of the screws, take my highest rated screwdriver on Amazon, find the hole, just get it started. Okay, if I look at this right corner of the blade, I get an idea. I see that that's definitely zero gapped, and as I move over to this left corner of the blade, it actually looks pretty accurate. If anything, it might be a little higher on this side, so I'm going to try to move it just a touch. Usually once you oil a machine that has an all metal body, it's going to get a little slippery. So what I'll do here is I'll actually spray a little bit of the Cool Care on the top, which actually gets rid of the oil, and we'll just wipe it down with a rag. So I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to charge up this FX1 battery, which will fit the trimmer, the shaver, which I don't have either of those, and the clipper. So this is actually a pretty thick USB cable. That's what it's going to look like. You're going to have something like this plugged in somewhere. And you know, if it would just charge with a USB-C, I wouldn't even be doing this because almost everything else I have charges with a USB, but that'll work for now. This here is my digital microscope. Obviously you guys have seen probably all the videos where I've used this, but this thing is just super handy when it comes to zero gapping. And we're going to finish setting up this station today. And all day we're going to use the Babyliss tools. I think I'm going to grab my silver bullet, which if you guys haven't seen the unboxing, we have that one. So we'll make this a Babyliss day.
So this was the first haircut I did today. We did about 6 haircuts with this tool so far. And you know, as you guys can see, this is smoothly going through his hair. There is no problems here. Performance-wise, this has just been kind of a joy to use. It really has. I've enjoyed the way this blade cuts, but I have never been a huge fan of this flashlight shape. This shape doesn't fit my hands super well, and I do got to be 100% transparent here. This young man, I ran into him later this evening, and I actually seen that this clipper missed a couple hairs on the top of his head. No big deal. I mean, any clipper can do that, but yeah, definitely I got to be a little bit more careful here. But as you guys can see, we made this a Babyliss day. Check out the taper.
All right, y'all, I'm not gonna lie. I was feeling a little bit left out when Babyliss sent all these to all their other influencers, and I had to wait for Williamsport Barber Supply to send me mine. But we got our first problem, and I don't know if this is gonna become a problem for a lot of people or not. But listen, man, this charging stand is kind of janky, and if you notice, it has 3 bars, right? I've done 2 haircuts with it, so that's cool, but it's not charging. This morning it was charging, and it is no longer charging. So that sucks because I don't really have any other way to charge these batteries. All they had to do was put a USB-C charging port on the battery. We did not need this stand. There's no other way to charge it. There's not one on the body. That would have been a cool little thing, put it on the body too, but there's no way to charge this. So when it runs out, I guess the good times will be over. But I got 2 more haircuts to do, and I think this will get through. So kind of look, that's the cut. I hope you like it. I do like the tools. I do think that they were easy to work with, and I think that silver FX, man, that thing's pretty good trimmer, man. That cleaned them up real nice. All right, you guys, I got a new customer coming, and I've never met him before, so we're gonna see what it is that he wants, and I'm gonna try to see if he'll let me film him, or maybe we'll just do a haircut on him, and I'll show you guys how I exercise my customer service, what I do to keep the client coming back, to make them want to book again. And you're gonna see that I'm gonna go above and beyond for them, and that's why so many people want to book with us here at Uptown. So let's make it happen. Probably want to know what that update is. This thing is charging again. So let me take this off the charger. All right, so you guys see the little prongs inside of this charger? Well, as it turns out, if you put it in incorrectly, you could actually bend one of these down and then it will no longer charge. Dennis reached out to me from Babyliss. He told me if you take a screwdriver and you pry up the little prong, if you see that one of them is in there laying not right, it's not gonna make a connection to the battery, and therefore it will not charge. So it was actually kind of like a happy ending to this whole thing. This is a great unit, and apparently the new charging stands are going to be updated and they will no longer, have this issue. So with that being said, all in all, no real major problems then with the Babyliss FX clipper. All right, man, so you're saying you want to do like a taper, you want to keep most of the bulk, you want to keep the color in there, I assume is the idea, and then we can do a fade that really transitions nice into the beard. And what do you want to keep growing the beard? Like, what's the plan with the beard?
You could
All right, you guys, we're going to be using the Zuka neck guards. You guys can use the link in the description. You'll save 20% off of this product, but this product is going to keep him comfortable and clean throughout the process. And as we can see, he wants to start growing his beard out, so we're going to do a little bit of maintenance underneath, but not too much. But the main focus is going to be shaping it, getting the top nice, and we're going to do a nice taper. I just worked the whole day. Why is my camera tilting? Let's fix that. I just worked the whole day with the new FX1 series. So far, I gotta say it's pretty good. There's a couple little weird things that have already happened. Like one, I think you noticed that during that last haircut, when I put this in the open position, it get kind of loud. That wasn't happening this morning. I'm not sure if that's the blade breaking in or whatever. The other thing that happened was The battery lasted, I did like 5 haircuts today, so it's like not a super busy day. It's about halfway. Shout out to Williamsport Barber Supply, and you guys can use my code over there. You can use my code Eddie. You can save 10% off of purchases like this or anything else. But I just wanted to share with you guys my experience while I was still fresh, while I'm still thinking about it. So overall, they fade great. They definitely, you know, get the skin line out, no problem. The rest of the Babyliss tools were working fine too. So that's about all I have to report on my first day, first impressions. So that's about all I got. No, you're good. So that's about all I got to report on with you guys. Overall, they fade great. The battery did last for 4 haircuts, and it's only like halfway down, so that's pretty cool. The new blade is actually fun to work with. I don't really know why it got a little bit louder, and I'm hoping that the lever doesn't wear out, because every one of these clippers, the lever had tended to wear out. Some of them give you an extra one, like the Boost. They give you an extra lever because they're aware of that problem. So, you know, this button on here, I was a little bit concerned when I seen all the other videos that like maybe it would be easy to hit. Now you got to kind of get to this. You got to push it kind of hard to get this battery out. So that's kind of nice that, you know, that it's like that. And, you know, overall, pretty solid clipper. Pretty solid clipper. So I'll be excited to see what the rest of the clippers, you know, cut like and how they are, and hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. These are obviously a lot of work to make, so if you guys could do me a favor, give me a little thumbs up, subscribe, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace.